Namaskar children. Welcome to the last part of the lesson in statistics. Hope you enjoyed watching the earlier lessons and have understood the key concepts. In case you have any difficulty, you can always get back to us and seek further clarity. In today's lesson, you will be learning about cumulative frequency curve. You are familiar with the concept of cumulative frequency and you know how to tabulate data in order to get the cumulative frequency table. In today's lesson, you'll be learning how to make the curve and how to use the curve to find out the median of the given data. You will also be learning how to find out what is called as an upper quartile, something called as lower quartile, and then how to find out the interquartile range. All these values are basically a measure of the dispersion of the data. And if we have a fair amount of idea of the dispersion of the data, it actually becomes easier to make viable conclusions and make valid comparison between data. So that is how these statistical tools help us in comparing data and drawing conclusions. Alright, so let's understand the key concepts and then move on to a question. As far as median is concerned, you know median is the value which lies midway through an arranged list of values. So suppose if that is the way my entire set of data goes, so which means here I have the lowest value and this is the highest value. So in the middle is what the median would be, mid value between the entire set of data, right? Similarly, Q1 or the lower quartile as it is called is a value which lies somewhere in the first quarter of the entire data. And if I were to draw a timeline here, and that's Q3, which is the upper quartile. So as you can see, the values are divided across 4 quartiles. So Q1 is the lower quartile, Q3 is the upper quartile. So needless to say, Q1 actually lies at 25% of the entire set of values and Q3 is at 75% of the entire set of values. Alright, so now let us put this to perspective with this question. So we have tabulated data for 100 people who gave a mathematics SAT. First part, we need to draw a cumulative frequency curve. Second part, we need to use the graph in order to find out the median and the interquartile range. And in part C, the question says pupils who scored less than 44 do not get a SAT level awarded. So how many people actually did not get the SAT level? So as in the earlier lessons, tabulating this data onto Excel makes it a little easier to calculate and analyze the data further. So I have done the same. Alright, so here we have the tabulated data in the form of the marks and the number of students who secured those marks, and you're already aware of the concept of cumulative frequency. So we can go ahead and find out the cumulative frequency. This is also called the zigzag method, wherein I take the frequency of the previous row and add it to the frequency of the current row. Alright, now in order to plot these values on a graph, we're basically going to be working with the upper limit of the data interval and the corresponding value of the cumulative frequency. So as you can see over here, I'm starting with a 0, 0 because I need to have a certain starting point. After this over here, I'm going to enter 30, which is the upper limit of the first data interval, and the corresponding cumulative frequency is 3. Similarly here, the upper limit is 40 and the corresponding cumulative frequency value is 12. Now in order to make this a little faster, what I have done is I have already plotted these values and kept it ready on a graph in Excel. So this is what it looks like. These are the values which have been plotted, and this graph. Now over here I have used Excel to make the graph. When you do your graphical representation, it is going to be on actual graph paper. So it's actually going to be easier for you to scale these values and draw inference from the curve. Now I'm going to import this curve onto another application wherein it becomes simpler for me to explain the concept. Here is that the cumulative frequency is always plotted on the y-axis, and the x-axis is meant for the data item, which in this case happens to be marks. We have a total of 100 students, so that is the reason why our highest value on the y-axis goes on to 100, and the marks are actually plotted on the x-axis. Okay, so let's start with the first part, wherein we need to find out the median for the given data. So in order to find out the median, we know that the median is the middle value. It is halfway through the entire set of data. So here, since the frequency is 100, the mid value would be at 50. So roughly here is where 50 would be. So I draw a straight line from the 50 onto the curve. And now I'm going to trace this line down onto the x-axis. This is easy for you when you do it on a graph, but here, looking at this, I would say this is 60, that's 80, so the mid value is going to be 70. So this would be 65, somewhere midway between 60 and 70. So which means the median is 65. The value of the median is 65. So here I have used the curve in order to find out the median. So the method is we locate the cumulative frequency on the y-axis, draw a straight line onto the curve, and then find the corresponding value for the x-axis on the curve. Similarly, we're going to be finding out the Q1, which is the lower quartile, and Q3, which is the upper quartile. Alright, so Q1, as we know, is the lower quartile. So Q1 is going to be the first quarter, or 25% of the entire value. In this case, we are dealing with 100. So it's simpler. All I have to do is, again, get onto the y-axis and locate 25. If this is 20, that's 40. Somewhere here is going to be 30. So which means here would be a 25. So I again draw a straight line. And trace the same line onto the x-axis. This value over here would approximately be somewhere maybe around 50 or a 51. When you do it graphically, you obviously get more accurate results. So the value of Q1, which is traced onto the 25% values of the frequency, actually comes out to be equal to 51. Now let's do it for the upper quartile, that's Q3. So Q3 is going to be 75% of the values. So it means 75 is what I need to locate. This is 60, that's 80, this is 70. So somewhere here would be a 75. The corresponding value on the x-axis. Alright, so again, it's easier to do this graphically, but here my conclusion would be that Q3 is actually 79. It's a value closer to 80, but it is not 80. So now talking about the interquartile range. The interquartile range is the value of the upper quartile minus the value of the lower quartile. So which in this case comes out to be equal to 79 minus 51, which is equal to 18. The quartile range is 28. Now let us move on to the last part of the question, wherein we need to find out the pupils who score less than 44, because these are the people who then don't get a SAT level award. So in this case, it's actually going to be the other way around, wherein we have the value in the x-axis and we're going to use the curve to find out the corresponding value on the y-axis. So 44 would lie somewhere, this is a 50 maybe, or a little more than 50, so somewhere here. So a straight line onto the curve, and then again a straight line onto the y-axis. So this reading approximately comes out to be 18. So which means I know that the answer for part C, as in the number of students who did not get a SAT award, is 18 students were not awarded the SAT. So that brings us to the end of this question. We have drawn a frequency curve and then we've interpreted information on the basis of the frequency curve. Alright, so coming back, let us just tabulate our answer. So for part A, we drew the frequency curve. For part B, the value of the median came out to be equal to 65, and the lower quartile, we found it out to be 51. The upper quartile, or the Q3, was 79. So the interquartile range was 28, and for part C, the number of students is 18. 18 students were not awarded the SAT. Alright, so it's your turn now. Another assignment question. At the school charity fete, a game consists of throwing 3 darts and recording the total score. The results of the first 80 people to throw are recorded in the table, which is given here. Part A, you need to draw the cumulative frequency diagram. Part B, you need to find out the median score and the interquartile range. And then further, find out the number of students who get a prize, because anyone who scores above a 90 get a prize. You need to find out the percentage of the pupil who got the prize. I'll give you the final answers so that once you're done with it, you can tally and be rest assured that you have understood the concept and are able to apply it correctly. The median score here should come out to be equal to 56. The interquartile range comes out to be 43, and the required percentage of people comes out to be 17.5%. Hope you enjoyed this lesson and have been able to understand the concepts well. Thank you.